everybody. Today I wanted to talk about the wondrous subject of which is hair, and I know I'm by no means a hairdresser or a hair guru or anything like that. I've just dyed my hair blonde about 100 times in the past few years, and in that time I've picked up a few tips and tricks and favourite products I've used in maintaining really light blonde hair without actually bleaching it or going to the hairdresser or anything like that. So here it goes. Now, I feel like my blonde hair story is a story of trial and error. When I was 15, I did dye my hair a really dark browny red, and as everyone knows, red is the hardest colour to get out. So anyway, I decided after 6 months that I didn't want my hair dark anymore. It didn't suit me, it just washed me completely out. So I decided I was going to try and go back to my usual blonde hair. So anyway, I dyed my hair, well, I bleached my hair at home first with just, I think it was an XXL bleaching kit. And it came out orange and patchy, and it was literally awful. I can't even describe the colour, it was just awful. And anyway, this was a week before my prom, so I had to go to the hairdresser, and she said there was nothing I could do but dye my hair to a light brown colour and then get highlights. So after a few weeks more trouble, I did eventually have the highlights done and I had blonde hair again. But that costs a lot of money. Anyone with blonde hair knows that it is so expensive to upkeep. To go and get highlights done is like, I think £70 for a full head of highlights around where I live, and I can't afford that. I'm a student, I just can't afford it. So after that whole scenario, I decided that I needed to find the perfect at-home dye to get my hair the colour the hairdresser did without actually going to the hairdresser. So I was using the at-home dyes like Garnier, the nice and easy ones, and nothing I was using, the lightest colours, nothing was getting my hair and my roots the same colour as on my ends. So I didn't want to use a bleaching kit. It's not something that I like to think is on my hair. I don't like the damage it causes. When I used to get highlights, it used to really dry my hair out. It felt awful. And I knew when I had the brown that it was so hydrated and it felt so much better that I just didn't want to go back to doing that again. So I decided that I was just going to keep trying, and whatever happened, I was just going to have to get on with it. So I eventually found the Loreal Recital Blondissimes hair dye in the shade number 3, lightest ash blonde, and this is the one hair dye I've used on my roots which actually, when it's finished developing, makes my roots the same colour as my ends. Now, because I've been dyeing my hair for so long, I actually have no idea what my natural hair colour is anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's a light brown, sort of, might be a bit blondie. As you can see, it's sort of, it looks really dark compared to my hair because it's so light, but I think it's sort of a very light brown. So I put this dye on my hair, on my root, I just put it on my roots, and I leave it on for 40 minutes, and when I've finished, my roots are the same colour as my hair, which is fantastic. I was so pleased. I'm so happy that I found it, and I've tried to convince so many people to use this. I used it on my friend a few weeks ago, and her hair was a light blonde, not light blonde, like a light brown with blonde running through it, and it changed her hair to a few shades lower than mine. So this hair dye has shown me you don't need to use bleach to have blonde hair. You don't need to do it. I mean, if your hair is a bit darker, I would maybe get highlights put through first like I did, and then go from there, and maybe put this dye on once and then it will come out quite light, and then do it again. And now there is a warning: if your hair is already light like mine, if you get it sort of on the blonde bits, it turns them almost a purple colour, because when it develops the actual dye goes purple. And it won't make your roots purple because they're already developing, but the rest of your hair, which is already blonde, mine sometimes goes a bit purple, but I will deal with that. Now, upkeep, which is the most important part of the whole process, I think. I use a lot of different products to try and keep it as blonde and as bright as possible. Like when it starts to, if I don't put these products on, it will go a bit dull, a bit brassy, and that's not what I wanted. So the main thing I use to keep my hair as light as it is the Provoke touch of silver shampoo, and this is the twice a week brightening shampoo, and it's got a violent pigment in it which actively neutralises the brassiness, and this stuff is a godsend to me because I put this on sort of once a week, maybe twice, depends how light I want it to go, and it really does work. Like, it gets rid of any brassiness that's in my hair, and it has sort of made these bits really white, which if that's not what you want, then don't do it, but if that's what you want, then use this. They do have some which are just a normal shampoo which you can use every day, and a normal conditioner which you can use every day, but I would not recommend using this every day because it will turn your hair purple. I know a lot of people that have used this to try and keep their hair a lilac colour, so I would be careful in how much you do use it, but it really does work, and it's so cheap. I think it's only around £3, and it lasts me ages, so I recommend that for upkeep. That's my #1 prime product for upkeep of blonde hair. Now, the next thing I use is the Frieda Sheer Blonde range, and I don't have all of it with me. I have some of it in university, so I can't show you that, but it's the same range. I have the Sheer Blonde Go Blonde Lightening shampoo, which I use. You can use it as frequently as possible, I suppose, but I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so don't like to use it that often. I sort of use this towards the end when I need to redo my roots, when they're getting a bit longer and a bit darker. I'll start to use this, and this just freshens it up so much, and I love the smell of it too, but it gradually lightens, which is fabulous. So if your hair is getting a bit darker, a bit duller, this stuff really revives it, brings it back to its blonde ways, and I don't really know what I'd do without this one. I do like it a lot. And then I also use the Frieda Sheer Blonde Controlled Lightening Spray. Now, I spray this on my roots sometimes if they're looking really dark and I want them to blend in with my hair a bit more so it's not sort of the skunk stripe. I will use this, and it does work really well. And I know a lot of people don't like it and they say it breaks your hair, or I don't even know. I don't agree with that. I think it does work really well. So I just spray that on, and then you put your hairdryer over and it lightens it, and I would say each time I use it, it goes sort of half a shade lighter on my roots. So I guess if you had darker hair, you could put this through, maybe lighten it a little bit, and then I suppose once I do my roots, this makes it easier to make them lighter again. So the whole thing works together to create a lightening process. And then just general upkeep, I try and use a good shampoo. So at the moment I've been using the Bedhead Dumb Blonde shampoo. It's really gunky because it's been in the shower, but it foams up so well. Like, I've never had a shampoo that foams up really foamy. Like, it's just so foamy. It smells like strawberries, and I just feel like using Bedhead. I don't know what it is about Bedhead. I think it's because my hairdresser used to use it. I feel like it's such a treat for the hair, but yeah, it claims to do all sorts of stuff, but I really like it. It does make my hair really soft, but I tend to switch between shampoos quite a bit. It doesn't really matter which one, as long as I'm using the blonde lightening things as well. And then conditioner. The best conditioner I have ever used is the Herbal Essence Hydrate Me, that's it, the Hydrate Me conditioner, and that's the one in the blue bottle, and the stuff is so thick, and I used to leave it on my hair even sometimes overnight, or I would just put it on for 5 minutes in the shower, and that stuff would just, it really did repair my hair after some damage that it caused. I would just say it's amazing, and I know that my flatmate really likes that as well, so I feel like that stuff really does condition. So I am due to do my roots soon. I'm going on holiday on Sunday, and I really don't want roots on holiday. I want to have a nice fresh blonde head of hair. So I'm going to do my roots, and one thing I have learned in the past few months is to put a bag on your head whilst you're doing it. And it sounds really stupid, but it does. It locks in the heat. I wrap it round and it keeps the heat in and makes the process faster, I guess. I don't know what it does, but the heat really lightens the roots even more. And I've done this only the past 2 times I've done my hair, which has been over the past 6 months. I don't do it very often, I tend to leave my roots to grow out a bit, but I've done that and I've really noticed a difference. That is an extra step now in the whole lightening process again, in creating my roots as light as the rest of my hair. So if you're in a predicament and you don't know whether you can get your hair lighter, I would suggest trying this dye. I would recommend it highly. You don't need to bleach. If your hair is really dark, maybe you would. But if you're brown-headed, I swear I'm brown-headed and you don't need to bleach. This is one lesson I've learned and I want to preach it. No, don't bleach. Don't bleach your hair. I'm due to dye soon, as I've just said, and if anybody would like to see that or see a video of how I do it exactly, then just leave a comment down below and I will try and do that for you before I leave. And also, I will leave all of the products that I've used in the down box for you to see and make it easier. And hopefully this works for some people, or I've helped in some way with people that are struggling to get their hair lighter or blonder or maintaining the blondness. So I hope you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or leave a comment or anything, and I will see you all very soon.